Did you know that a simple 1985 Washington quarter in your pocket could unlock a hidden story of American minting secrets, the legacy of George Washington, and the mysteries that drive collectors wild? This is not just pocket change, this is history, waiting to be discovered. Stay with me as we uncover every twist behind the 1985 Washington quarter. Its value, its errors, its secrets that could make you richer than you ever imagined. Journey through time, where we dive deep into the story of the Washington quarters, especially the remarkable 1985 Washington quarter, a piece of metal that carries not just the face of the first president of the United States, but also the weight of decades of numismatic heritage. The Washington quarter was first struck in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It was supposed to be a one-year, commemorative coin, but the public loved the design so much that it became a permanent fixture in our coinage system, replacing the standing Liberty quarter that preceded it. The original designer, John Flanagan, created an image that has become iconic, a profile of George Washington that we still see today. The 1985 Washington quarter stands at an interesting crossroads in coin history, because by the 1980s, the United States Mint had already transitioned to copper, nickel-clad composition, which began in 1965 due to the rising costs of silver. The composition of the 1985 quarter is a clad sandwich, outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core that is pure copper. This change, which started 2 decades earlier, ensured that everyday people could still use these coins without worrying about the value of the metal exceeding the face value. By 1985, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint were the primary producers of Washington quarters that year, with the San Francisco Mint striking proof coins for collectors. The Philadelphia Mint coins bear no mint mark, while the Denver Mint coins are marked with a small D. The San Francisco proof coins have an S mint mark. Each mint produced millions of these coins, but the hunt for rarity comes not from the mintages alone, but from the hidden errors, the small mistakes that turn an ordinary quarter into a numismatic treasure. Errors like double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and weak strikes are the stuff that collectors dream about. The 1985 Washington quarter has its share of these rarities. For example, some collectors have reported finding double die obverse examples, which means that certain design elements like the date or the motto, "In God We Trust," show a doubling effect caused by a misalignment during the hubbing process. Other known varieties include repunched mint marks. Although by 1985 most mint marks were machine stamped onto the working dies, rather than by hand, which made these errors rarer. Still, let us not forget the conditions that can amplify the value of a 1985 quarter coin. Condition is king in the world of coins. Mint state coins, those that have never been circulated and still have their original luster, command top dollar. The Sheldon coin grading scale is the standard here, with MS-60 being the baseline uncirculated grade and MS-70 being the perfect coin free of any marks or blemishes for a 1985 Washington quarter. Finding one in MS-67 or higher is quite rare, especially since these coins were mass-produced for circulation. Everyday wear and tear reduces the odds of finding pristine examples. Auction records show that some high-grade 1985 Washington quarters have fetched hundreds of dollars at reputable auction houses, especially if they are certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC. And then there are proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint. These coins are made using specially polished dies and planchets, resulting in mirror-like fields and frosted devices. They are sold directly to collectors in sets and never intended for general circulation. A 1985 S proof Washington quarter in perfect condition can also bring a premium, especially the elusive cameo and deep cameo designations that refer to the contrast between the mirrored fields and the frosted design elements. Now let us step back to understand why collectors even care about a common date, like 1985, when millions were made. The answer lies in the journey each coin has taken. How many have survived the passage of time without scratches, dings, or signs of wear? How many have unique errors that escape the eyes of mint inspectors? How many have been lost to vending machines, coin-operated laundromats, or simply slipped into piggy banks and forgotten forever. This is where rarity is born through the attrition of everyday life. The Washington Quarter itself tells a larger story about American coinage by 1985. The Mint was experimenting with new technologies and methods to keep up with the demand for coins. The introduction of modern coining presses, the use of computer-aided design, and the push for efficiency sometimes resulted in production errors that would become prized collectibles decades later. Collectors are the guardians of these tiny anomalies, these treasures hiding in plain sight. Think about the journey of a single 1985 Washington Quarter. It could have been struck at the Philadelphia Mint early one morning on a brand new die. Its plancher carefully prepared, its design sharply impressed. Maybe it was bagged and shipped to a Federal Reserve Bank, then rolled and sent to a local bank where it landed in the cash drawer of a convenience store. Perhaps it changed hands 1,000 times before ending up in your pocket or in your grandfather's coin jar, waiting to be rediscovered by someone who knows what to look for. And when we talk about what to look for, collectors examine the tiniest details, the rims, the edges, the fields, the devices. They check for die cracks, cuds, plancher flaws, lamination errors, and more. A strong magnifying glass or a good microscope becomes your best friend in this hunt, and the thrill of finding that one coin that everyone else overlooked is what keeps the numismatic passion alive. Now let us not overlook the cultural significance of the Washington Quarter for generations. This coin has been a staple of everyday transactions. Kids have used it to buy candy. Parents have dropped it in parking meters. Families have flipped it to settle arguments, heads or tails. It is more than a piece of metal. It is a shared experience, a tiny symbol of American life in your hand. By the mid-1980s, the Washington Quarter had already seen more than 50 years of use and would continue its journey until 1998, when the design changed to the State Quarters program. That program breathed new life into the series, with each state getting its own reverse design starting in 1999. But that is another story for another time. The 1985 Washington Quarter remains one of the last classic examples before the change, a snapshot of the original design that had graced pockets and cash registers since the Great Depression. So if you ever find a 1985 Washington Quarter in your spare change, do not just spend it without a second thought. Study it, admire it, consider its journey, check its condition. Look for the telltale signs of errors that could multiply its value many times over, and remember that every coin has a story. Every scratch and mark tells of its adventure through decades of American history. For the serious collector, building a set that includes high-grade examples of each mint mark, proof coins, and known varieties is a rewarding challenge. A set that tells the complete story of the 1985 Washington Quarter is a testament to patience, dedication, and an eye for detail. And that is the heart of coin collecting: to preserve history in your hands, to connect with the past through something so ordinary, yet so extraordinary. So the next time you hold a Washington Quarter from 1985, remember, you are not just holding 25 cents. You are holding a piece of our shared American heritage, a tiny artifact that speaks of minting technology, economic changes, and the enduring legacy of George Washington himself. Keep searching, keep studying, and maybe, just maybe, you will be the one to find that elusive rarity that changes everything. Now, keep watching as we go even deeper into the world of valuable quarters, because every coin has a secret, and together, we are going to uncover them all.